It's spring break, and with everything that's happening because of the virus, nothing is being done about it. Welcome to the show. Let's look at the latest on the COVID-19 as we approach spring break, and it is a big issue here. We have 2 new state cases, historic case data 2 weeks or older. 103 health districts reporting daily cases, which is now totaling up to 38,168. 32 new cases, 9 new cases, 64 new cases, so that's the total now, 25,878, 10,207, and 2083. And as for deaths, there's 2 new deaths, 725, and the recovered are still at 36,776. ICU 24, currently hospital 76, and 6474 have been hospitalized. Now, spring break. It is the time where y'all can go hang out at the beach, go drink, and all that stuff. But it's underway. North Beach sees some smaller crowds than usual. And if you went to So I agree. Everything, I mean, what I just saw right there was just some people were being social distance, some people wore masks, and everything's going normal. And 1,000 Coastal Bend teachers were supposed to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. And it was also hosted for the custodians and the teachers. So great job on that. Let's hope that this dies down. We need to not have this virus go out of control. We got to keep it under control. But what else now? And because now that spring break is happening for all the public schools are now getting their spring break, whereas the colleges, they canceled spring break, but one day for the Texas A&M University. Like as I reported to you a couple days ago, this was revised. They now revised the 2020-21 holiday. And this is from Kelly M. Miller, the president and CEO of TA&M University of Corpus Christi. They join universities across the country eliminating spring break 2021. It's a difficult choice, but at once, to accommodate, we are moving a start date from the semester. 1 day spring break for classes, March 17th. So it's during this time. So if you were to look at the calendar, March 17th, that's next week. So while the public schools are getting their week off, the colleges are not getting their week off this week. They're only getting 1 day off, and that's on Wednesday, and that's next Wednesday. Now, if people are walking around colleges saying you're jealous, that might be watching saying you're jealous. Well, I understand, and you wanna What am I doing? Now, I understand, like, you might be jealous of the public schools getting, like, want to get their spring break off. Because it's not, you may think it's not fair, but it's what your president says. You have to respect the president of your university and do what she says. If all the other colleges are doing it, then the same college has to do it. There is no, sorry, there is no argument about this here. God, I wish I had figured my house. There's probably no arguing about this to this point. But I understand. I'm with you there. I wanted to go to college and have spring break off. But it could not happen because of the president. You just, I mean, if you want to skip college, that is your choice. I am not making that choice for you. That is your decision. But your decision affects your life. And if you skip your college, you cannot be skipping college because it just sends the wrong message, and it can cause your grade to slip. It can also get your money's worth. There's experts out there. And there's people out there. There's experts out there, and if there's disciplinary hearings and all that, and if you were to decide to skip, there's disciplinary action. There's all these disciplinary hearings that are going to be happening. So, my advice to you, don't skip this week. Don't skip this week and then have an extra day. Nope. You need to be in your college classes. If you want that diploma, you need to be in class. Understand it. There's more Game Break when we come back. Stay tuned. It was now 2 months since the riot that happened in Washington, D.C. And there was one person that was on the FBI's wanted list. Federico Kane was appointed to the State Department and had top secret security clearance when he was allegedly pictured in the mob attacking police officers. He's now charged with being the police officer, and there is now more to this story. And all the others are charged with violent and disorderly conduct. So, that's the riot. That's the riot story. Also, here's the thing that happened yesterday. Go back to the virus. I mean, just today when I was out in the street, I saw a fair happening. There was no social distancing. There was no masks. Everyone was just sitting next to each other. Like, they don't care. They don't care about the virus. I mean, it's happened at the same church, the same one I exposed last week because they don't do health screening. They don't do anything. And now with Governor Greg Abbott's new order coming out in just a few days, it's going to be an issue. All churches need to understand. I mean, if you're going to be saying, with Governor Greg Abbott's order coming in, they still have to operate, and there's still places where HEB is mandating masks, and so is my work. My work is not allowing people to sit down in a lobby and eat, and yet they could sit there and argue, saying, "Well, tell us all about this," but you could sue my work and get your money's worth, but it doesn't mean diddly squat. And now, coming up in a few days, there's going to be a bonfire here in the Bluff at the JFK Causeway. But where exactly? I checked. It's all the way out now, but where in the JFK Causeway? I checked on Waldron. It could be there. If it could be all the way out on the island, I have to take the bus. But I will be there for a Give Me a Break special. Bonfire masks. With a lot of things happening. When we come back, the very latest into the case of Chris Cuomo's brother, who is now the New York governor. He was accused of sexual harassment. The latest when we return. As you now know by watching the media recently, Governor Andrew Cuomo, who is also Chris Cuomo's brother, he's not, and by the way, Chris Cuomo is not reporting on his brother because of all these allegations. Well, I'm going to bring you the very latest. And there's a lot more women coming. But before we get to the latest, let's look at the victims of There's two more. So, let's look at the two. There was Annalise, who told the New York Times he touched her lower back and kissed her hand in 2013 while she was working as a policy advisor. And also, the former press aide, Ed Hinton, says he embarrassed her immediately in 2000 when he was Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. But a spokeswoman for Cuomo denied the allegations and accused someone of attempting to take advantage of his moment. Okay, he unknowingly. There's a lot of women who are accusing people, and Chris Cuomo will not be reporting on this. But 5 days ago, E.T. did a report on. E.T. had a question. Even though CNN is governed, if you are a member of CNN, you have to report it. You cannot be just sitting there saying, I'm not going to report it, but just because you're CNN does not give you the right to cover your own sibling. If I were to report on my brother, if I reported on my brother, if I was with this show and my brother did some things horrible, I have to report it. If my sister-in-law did something she's not supposed to do, I have to report it. You are mandated. If you work for any television, if you work at NBC, ABC, CBS, CNN, or any other news program, you have to cover everything, even if it's your siblings or your family member. Just try to remember. But people know, he knows he's in trouble. But the question from E.T., is it okay for Chris Cuomo not to cover the bad headlines about his brother? Well, if his boss says, if his boss says, nope, you got to cover it, says it's okay, then it's okay. If his boss says no, then his boss says no. There's no point in arguing back and forth. And it's like, why aren't you covering your brother? Because he's my brother. I don't want to put him in a bad situation. That's the choice that everyone else has to make. If NBC's going to cover it, ABC's going to cover it, CNN has to cover it. If you work for CNN, what you have to do is make sure that you know that you cover the story. Even if it's a school shooting, you still have to cover it. What Chris Cuomo should be doing is doing backflips. Even though he's his brother, he has to do backflips to report on his brother, on all these allegations. And now there is a lot of talk going on around here. But he wasn't allowed to back from 2013, 2020. But when COVID hit, his brother why does CNN have a policy that says you will not report on your family member? Why have a policy like that? If you're gonna cover your own family sibling, you at least gotta do it. Don't have a policy put in place that says I'm not going to report on my brother. You can't have a report on your family member. And even if he did, everything would just go berserk. There'd be some fights going on, ass kicking going on at the CNN studios, and it'd be all over YouTube, or on Facebook, or on your social media. So now, if CNN had a policy that says if you have a family member you will not report on it, then that's probably their right. But journalism was, when you did journalism when you grew up, it's all about going over the facts. And that's everyone stating their opinion. When I created this show 3 years ago, it was to be 100% opinions and 100% facts and 5% opinion. But in this case here, we're going to go 5%, so the 100% facts. The facts are, he is accused, Governor Cuomo is accused of sexual harassment. There were 2 victims. There's a lot of victims. And just 2 days ago, there was another accuser who sat down with nowhere to go. So that makes it 3 accusers. Plus, and now the fact is, Chris Cuomo will not cover on his brother because of CNN's policy. Because we don't want people saying no. We don't want people saying facts. We want opinions. Okay? Journalism was about facts, not opinions. This show is all about facts and opinions. That's why I have 100% facts, 5% opinions for this show. And it's been staying that way for 3 years. And for 3 years, I've covered the truth. I'm not a journalist. If I was a journalist, I would not have a journalist degree in college. If I apply right now and say I don't have a college degree, then I would go up there and say I don't have a college degree, but I do have a show on YouTube. It's called Give Me a Break. Talks about everything from the news. 100% facts, 5% opinions. And the corporate manager says, I like the show. I like your show. But can you do just 100% facts and do 0% opinion? I'll be like, okay, sure. I can try to. But I'll just keep the opinions on my YouTube channel. there's a lot of victims here, man. We don't know all the victims. This has to go back to when former President Bill Clinton was sexually harassing Monica Lewinsky. And that was an issue. I think the governor should be put on trial. He should be removed. But the question is, can a state governor be impeached? We're going to answer that question when we come back. So we've been talking about Governor Andrew Cuomo and his accusations of sexual harassment. Now, what we've learned is that he denied someone denied the allegations. And the question is, can a state governor be impeached? And how can the state governor be removed? Well, all state legislators except Oregon can impeach state officials, including the governor, in accordance with their respective state constitution. Fairly, it has to be 2/3 majority of the senators present at the trial. It's required for the conviction under Article 1, Section 3, Clause 6 of the Constitution. So in this case, what if it happens in New York where it happens in New York? And now going back to the question, could Cuomo be impeached? Well, the city and state, NewYork.com, will answer that question right now. The New York Post posted that Cuomo's top aide, Melissa DeRosa, admitted to state allegations that the state had delayed revealing the top total death count of nursing home residents COVID-19. During a video conference with Democratic lawmakers, DeRosa confessed to basically froze over the state and called for and they said, if the governor can be impeached, convicted, and removed from office, the lieutenant governor could be charged with carrying out the governor's duties remaining term. This happened in 1913. It's been years. But could he be impeached for what he done? I think so. Absolutely. But we don't know if it could happen. If it does, I'll report it. All journalists will report it. And simple facts are that if you do something you're not supposed to, you will be impeached. Think about Donald Trump. He was impeached 2 times. And that's basically it. Okay, tomorrow on Give Me a Break, it's International Women's Day. Looking at a lot of women from the past history. Then looking into the latest in the college admissions scandal. Will Lori Loughlin's husband be removed from jail? We'll give you the very latest for our Give Me a Break special we done months ago. All that and more tomorrow. And that's all this edition. Give Me a Break Sunday going to Monday. We'll see you again tomorrow for Give Me a Break Monday. For all of us here at YouTube, have a great night. And take care of yourself.